wake up and stay woke. Cause this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're gonna give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go, 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 go. All right, y'all know what it is. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South, a.k.a. Mr. Excessive Celebration, a.k.a.
He's on fire!
I'm going to be, hey, you got the right shirt on today because I think I'm going to be Mr. Public Enemy today. I see you. We got the maestro in the building, DJ John Quick. We have the Maverick in the building, Miss Majestic Maya, and we going right in. Happy anniversary, because this is the 57th anniversary of the March on Washington.
Oh my, he's on fire!
Is the perfect setup for today because we got some real deep conversations to have, y'all. How y'all doing this morning? Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
John Quick with a Public Enemy shirt on. I already know what time it is. I already know what type of music you're going to bring, what type of energy. And the Maverick only knows one way. She got silver bullets that she waiting to shoot off. So we gonna get right in, man. We gonna get right in. This week's episode is entitled "Dear Coach," and I think there are two bookend coaches that we're gonna have conversations about. The two that come to mind immediately are obviously Doc Rivers. Because if you heard his impassioned speech after the most recent issue that leaves you scratching your head, you see a black man going towards his car and being shot in the back. And it leaves you scratching your head. And the NBA spoke up and spoke out loudly, and so have other sports, and kudos to them. But Doc Rivers, to me, was the central figure of what has gone on after we saw Mr. Jacobs be shot in the back. The other one, on the other side of the spectrum, if I dare, is none other than Coach Lou Holtz, a man that if you have ever met me, you've heard me say nothing but positive things about him, a man that in 1995 convinced me to leave sunny South Florida for South Bend, Indiana, a man that I've called my white father figure. We gonna have a conversation this morning because he hurt me to my core, and we gonna end on that note because I gotta get some stuff off my chest. No, I'm gonna say I gotta get some shit off my chest when it comes to what a man who is that central to my life decided to do this week. But I feel as though it would be wrong to go right to the coaches. We got to lead up to that, if you will. And I think of this week in three categories, y'all: dear fan, dear teammate, and dear coach. And we're gonna have some real passionate letters, some communications to those three groups of people. And we'll start with the dear fan because after the latest incident. And I say latest because it seems as though every week there's something that leaves you scratching your head as a black person in America. After the latest incident, the NBA decided to, and media has used the word boycott. A good friend of mine, Stacey Davis, who's in that business, rightly told me that's a misuse. It shouldn't be boycott. Mm-hmm. But whatever the word might be, they decided not to go out there on the court. And the fans have been up in arms. I'll let you guys start it off in terms of what do you think about this week in terms of the NBA, the fan response? what has been your response, because we too are fans. Let's have a very open but real conversation with the fans now that the NBA has responded the way that they have. What do y'all think?
I'll say it's 3 letters for me. WTF? What the fuck? It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like every single day, the color of my skin makes me, quote unquote, makes me a threat to white people.
Right.
What the fuck? Look, wholeheartedly, I agree with the players. They realize that they have the power and that I'm the product on the field, because it's literally what it is. You don't give me what I want or help people that look like me, we got a problem. I'm not going to give you what you want. And they showed that owners aren't going to go out there and play basketball. I'm tired of these pig departments. Yeah, I'm calling cops pigs. I don't give a shit. These pig departments always, when they approach black and brown people, have their hands on guns and holsters. Seriously? If you're that fucking scared, pick another profession, okay? Because pussy should not be carrying guns. And it's a damn shame that cosmetologists and a whole other fucking slew of people need to have hours, thousands of hours to do their job when you only need 60. You're carrying weapons. And it's always their discretion. It's always that, well, we thought he had a gun. How many fucking times you gonna use that lie? If your vision is so good when you're intent on shooting someone, your vision should be that fucking good when you see a weapon, which you never do. I'm so fucking tired. I'm tired. And I don't give a shit about shouting out the white brethren and nothing like that. As a black woman, I'm fucking done. My life is not here to appease you, entertain you, make you feel good. I'm not fucking Halle Berry. Get your shits together.
DJ John, quick, what say you?
Oh, no, she didn't. Well, honestly, I feel her like this week I've just been tired, man. That's the best way I could describe it. As far as the NBA players, I was going to be behind them whether they played or didn't play.
What do you think about their decision to ultimately go back to playing?
I can see it from both ways. Like, again, they have the power. If they chose to strike, and like Tara Martin said, strike is the operative word, not boycott. Strike.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely could affect change, but also they're in the bubble already and they have a huge platform and literally the eyes of the world are on them. So
right.
I get that part too. And I love the fact that the Milwaukee Bucks actually got, I believe it was the governor or the attorney general on the phone during their strike, to lay out what
I know they spoke to the attorney general. I don't know if they spoke to the governor as well.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what an actionable item is.
Mm-hmm.
With all that being said, like I'll be honest with you, Bob, I'm just tired, man. I'm tired of having to explain why we have to demand equality.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we demanding like nothing that you don't already have.
Right.
Like I mean, to be treated as fairly, is that so hard?
Or even the use of the words Black Lives Matter. People try to defend their opposition of the formalized movement. And I've had, I think, intelligent people try to oppose the use of the word based on the formal movement. Have you seen their platform? This, that, and I like, all right, do me a favor. Instead of capitalizing it, just say the words Black Lives Matter, because we have here, I think, 3 respectable Black professionals. I think everyone would at least accept this as that. And all 3 of us are saying the same thing, just flat out tired, just straight up, flat out tired. Dear Fan also, to me, makes us talk about this cowardly act of Kyle Rittenhouse. Ooh. Because his fandom, he was in the front row of a MAGA event. His fandom, it has now inspired him to be a vigilante and go take I guess in his mind, law and order into his own hands. And in doing so, he's taking lives. And so I don't know if you guys want to speak to it, but that level of fandom when it comes to what I thought was supposed to be neutral, right? Politics is supposed to be, it ain't supposed to be like, you know, the Browns versus the Steelers.
Exactly right.
But that is what that's how low it has become.
Yeah.
That's how low. Like this man decided to bear arms because of his fandom and take lives, literally take lives
illegally. That gun was not. First of all, he's not old enough to own a gun. First of all, let's call him what he is, a killer. Okay,
yep.
He's a fucking. Yes, in the truest form.
Yep.
When the laws were put on the books in America, he is truly a fucking white. He's just a terrorist. He's a piece of shit. And so was his trifling ass mama.
Who
got in the car to drive
very
him.
Culpable. Very
60
culpable.
miles.
Okay. To this event, you knew your son wasn't shit. He's probably downstairs in the basement. Hey, I hate black people because he got a little pink dick, can't get girls in high school. Okay. And so he wants to take it out on everyone else. Okay. And lastly, I love how the media portrays him as he's cleaning up some after in the graffiti off a wall.
My gosh.
But you got Trayvon Martin. Traces of marijuana were found in his body during autopsy. What the fuck does that have to do with some fat ass person shooting him that's not a cop? Stand your ground.
No, she didn't.
How amazing is that? How amazing is that the victim gets re-victimized when the victim is black, right? Or like the fact that you are tracing people's history back to whether or not they colored outside the lines in kindergarten says all that you need to say about the difference of black and white in America. And yet we see, despite his criminal record, Kyle Rittenhouse cleaning up graffiti. And
lastly, Jacob Blake is still handcuffed in his bed. Now, the man is paralyzed from the waist down. He is handcuffed to his hospital bed.
There's only one word for that. Inhumane. Inhumane.
That's how they treat pig shit. And they white people, I'm calling everyone out because you are complicit in the system unless you're actively doing something, not just I donate to Black Lives. I don't give a fuck what you donate to. Period. If you're not calling people out, actively doing the work, standing up, then you're not doing shit. You're complicit in the system that has historically literally beaten and killed people of black skin. Get your shit together.
I hope the answer is no. But did anyone think that 57 years after I Have a Dream speech, that we still would be at a place where we have to convince people that Black lives matter? We've got to say it so many times and repeat it over and over and over and over and over, because indeed the MVP of the entire movement, technology, these camera phones, have highlighted, these things have highlighted that there's at least a sub-segment of police that don't necessarily believe that. I don't believe that all police are bad. I really do not.
No, I don't fuck with them.
I don't believe that all police are bad. I think it's a good profession.
I know for a fact
just the same thing I said about prosecutors, like Kamala Harris. Like all prosecutors ain't bad, and we need fair-minded police officers to wear that badge and carry the gun. But
they need to have the same sentiment when it comes to black people.
Absolutely.
Why is it that we're blanket black equals bad? You are trained as a police officer. Black skin is a threat. Last time I checked, in Michigan at the Capitol, there wasn't black people with fucking AR-15s and AK-47s threatening legislatures to do their job. Police didn't do anything. They're walking around with no mask on. It's just a coronavirus petri dish. But you have a man that breaks up a fucking fight, goes to get in his car. His children are in the back seat. It's 7 of you pigs, and you take it amongst yourself. I see a gun, and you shoot him. You shoot at him 7 times. You hit him 6. What the yo? There's no excuse to anyone that says, "Oh, police have such a hard job." Like I said, if you're a pussy, you're gonna get fucked. Don't carry a gun.
All right, well, it was 15 minutes.
Damn!
You did break the record last time before the first F-bomb. You back to 15 minutes, but it is so deserved.
Today's different.
It is different because we're talking about things that seem so basic. So basic. If you have your back turned, I don't think you pose an imminent threat. When you shoot somebody, you could kill them. And if Black Lives Matter, you would be a lot more careful about when you deploy that resource called a bullet if someone's back is turned. If you're outnumbering them, they're walking away from you. Now, I just don't get it, man. I really don't get it. And when you go to, like, you know, I saw some of the former Notre Dame players post stuff that echoed our sentiment. We just tired. Yeah, we tired. And then I see the fans, air quote fans, these Notre Dame fans that are commenting. You know, one saying, "Oh, I'm going to stop following you." And this was Lewis Nix. And he was like, "Okay." And then I see the back and forth. And then yesterday, Kavari Russell, sometimes I got time. And yesterday I had time. I'm going back and forth for one of the former players on his page, not him, but he posted something essentially like whatever it was, basically that we tired. Black Lives Matter, we tired. And these fans that love to watch us catch a pass, love to watch us intercept a pass, love to watch us sack the quarterback in the stadium. These same fans don't have the basic decency to hear the athlete, to hear the player basically say, "Bruh, I'm tired. I'm literally scared."
Well,
when I get
you know what it comes down to, bro? It comes down to the old sentiment. You know, they love our culture, but they hate us. That's what it comes down to.
They want our rhythms and not our blues. How dare you, black men that are on the field, literally entertaining us, fulfilling our lives, have an opinion? Are you what? Exactly. How dare you? You are black. You're a second-class citizen. Hell, you were only considered a full person how many years ago? Like 100 plus years ago? How dare you have an opinion? You should be honored to be at Notre Dame. You should be honored to get on that field and play for us. Do you know who we are? Half of the fan base couldn't get into Notre Dame if they walked through the front fucking doors because they're not smart enough. Let's call out these fans.
Funny you say that, because at one point in this exchange, this dude says, obviously you have an issue with words. Now, I don't throw around I don't throw around my degrees. But I quickly fire back, because as this fan is insulting my intelligence, I quickly fire back that my not one, but two Notre Dame degrees, not to mention the one from Yale, would suggest otherwise. I'm okay with words, right? And so I then finalized it with, "Carry on and have a good day, fanboy." I'm sick of these fanboys thinking that they can get on social media pages and threaten, "I'm going to unfollow." I never asked you to follow me in the first place. Now, first of all, and second of all, if you only think my value in this world is to score a touchdown or to get a first down, then kick rocks anyway, man. Because these players are simply saying what we've said. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm flat out, straight up
exhausted.
Tired. And if you can't hear that, then kick rocks. I do think I have this comment up. That lipstick, though. Somebody liking your lipstick. Yeah. To at least
quick story. The reason why I'm wearing this is because it's going to be a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah.
And blood, when it's in the veins, blood is actually very dark. When it hits the air, it turns to red. So that's right. I'm in finisher mode today.
Well, let's go. All right. Well,
a lot of folks today.
Let's do it. All right. So let's go. We still at Dear Fan. And for Dear Fan, I thought the fans in the tennis world definitely reacted to Naomi Osaka and her decision at one point to pull out. People were upset about that. Again, who cares about your anger? The comic relief part of this section, and then I'm gonna get right back into it. Montrell Harris. Montrell Harris called Luka. I'm quoting now, a bitch ass white boy. And again, here goes the camera, man. The camera caught him. I mean, his lips were like perfectly in the center of the camera when he called him a bitch ass white. Now, as somebody from
we didn't need an interpreter. I knew what he said.
Hey,
but, bro, you've been on that hardcore before. You already know.
Hey, but somebody from the neighborhood, I would have had more issue with the bitch ass part.
Absolutely.
But America had a bigger issue with the white boy part, and tried to create, I think, a false equivalency between the use of white boy and the use of the N-word. And I just don't think they're the same. Because I'm at the risk of sounding like somebody else. I got white friends that I refer to as, yo, that's a smooth ass white boy, man. That's a badass white. I mean, that's just in sports. That's how a lot of times we refer to our white teammates. What did y'all think about it quickly? And then we're gonna go full steam ahead.
I got 5 white friends. I don't need no more. And my thing is this: at the end of the day, why do y'all? They're so pressed. It's like they want to be oppressed. White men, tell me a time in history where you have ever been oppressed. All you do is pillage, run through, destroy, steal. That is your legacy. Y'all want to be us so fucking bad that you're jealous. You're mad because you can't go out on that court and ball out. The NBA is 80% black.
But
the NFL is 70% black. These black men, not only, Bobby's a clear example, not only can he do it on the court, he could do it off the court. Okay, MBA from Yale, a law degree from Notre Dame. Okay,
I appreciate it, my sister.
No, it's what you're the majority, but of course, if it doesn't fit the narrative, if you're not out there with 7 kids by 12 different women, all that old bullshit, then they don't want to highlight you. Fuck them and all they stand for. We know we the best. That's why y'all been trying to keep us down in America for 400 plus years. And if you don't like it, you can kiss all this black ass. I'm fucking tired of it.
Tired.
Thanks,
I will say this though. Luka's a badass white boy though, man. At the risk of everybody getting on me about calling him a white boy, that's a bad boy, man.
He is white.
Yeah.
Listen. Let's keep it 100. Here's what happened. Basically, you have to remember they're in the bubble. So this is basically like playing in the park. So if you ever play in the park, right, and you get upset because somebody's busting your ass, you're gonna try to get in the head anytime, any way you can. Right. And Luka is a bad. I don't want to call him a white boy because in terms of a white boy, he's not from here, so he's not really down with the clan that's here. He played over in Europe where he played with a multitude of nationalities on a regular, which they don't have, their problems aren't as extreme as they are over here. Their problems are not like this. All right. Yep. Number 2. So basically, the brother got mad. He got frustrated, so he was like, "Yo, you a bitch ass white boy." And I think he's saying it. He was saying it more out of frustration.
No, he was.
And I think that's why Luka, he didn't really even get mad.
He didn't trip at all, man. And that's why I would even say
he did competition. That's what it is. Now,
even more
here's
evidence.
The reason I felt like dude that said it. Let me finish, Bob. Here's the reason I felt like dude that said it should have got fined. I'm gonna tell you why. Because he's just giving those idiots out there fuel. That's it. Because I'm quite sure Montrell Harrell don't have a prejudice bone in his body, because if you played a sport all your life, it's really hard to. Don't get me wrong. We have our exceptions that we will discuss a little later, but it's really hard. Yes. Whatever. So right at the next game, he apologized because at the end of the day, he was like, "Yo, man, I was in the heat of battle," and that's what it was. Right. That's exactly what it was. I'm like, Montrell, don't give them no fuel, especially during the RNC. Because
right.
at the end of the day, like Ryan said, you cannot compare being called a white boy to being called a nigger. It's not the same thing at
Not
all.
at all.
I didn't think so.
Basketball, if he's saying that in basketball, that's actually like a compliment.
It's always a compliment.
Like, yo,
That's how
nice
we use
to be a white boy. That's what he's saying.
I had a
the
dude.
funny thing was, Luka was giving him that work. I can't even front. He was giving him that work.
He
You
was.
can say what you want, but he is bad. So
which is why Montreal had to try to get in his head because Luke was giving that work. For me, and all of us have one. For me, it was Russ Silver, right? Yeah. In middle school. It was the first white boy that I saw could go. And everybody I described him to in my neighborhood is like, all right, you come out here playing around if you want to. That white boy gonna give you that work.
Exactly.
Right. So it was a compliment. But to your point, the maestro, you opened up a can of worms, and here we go. Because you said something about some of the accepted culture in a locker room. You said something that we assume that there is no racism in a locker room. But we might as well move to, because let's get from dear fan and move to dear teammate.
Absolutely.
Because there's a gentleman by the name of Brian Urlacher.
Gentleman.
Hall of Famer, who came out the side of his face on social media and basically he just showed his true colors.
Yes.
And to think that he got that designation, that's a bad white boy. He was fully embraced.
Yeah.
I'm saying that he was given that designation. We always complimented him, even compared him to the greats such as Michael Singletary.
Exactly.
He could never fuck with my cousin.
But what do y'all think about Brian Urlacher and sort of that element of the reality that even in the locker room, that was supposed to be sacred space, Brian Urlacher showed his true colors?
I got two things to say. First and foremost, I can't speak on the teammate thing because I don't play football, but this man has a child with a black woman. Don't get mad because she did you dirty and cleaned you out and stole the rest of your hair that you had on the top of your head. Secondly, I want us.
Maya know all the tea. I love that.
Yes.
I didn't know that, Maya. Thank you for that revelation.
Yeah, and she was taking his old bald, undersized, got ran over ass to the bank and cleaned him out. We don't want to talk about Notre Dame alum Jerome Bettis running his ass over. He ran through him like water. I was like, damn. You know what? There was a movie during that game, okay, against the Steelers and the Bears. It was called The River Runs Through It. The river was Jerome Bettis. He ran through that damn boy. Now, that was a white boy who was on his ass. He carried him like a fucking sack. He carried him like groceries straight from Whole Foods. Okay? He got his ass handed to him. Well, he ain't got an ass. No, she didn't. Handed it to him. He said, here, sir. Okay? Take that to the Hall of Fame. And my second point is, I want black people to stop inviting white people to the fucking cookout. Y'all got to stop giving out plates to people who don't deserve them. If somebody, I like Tupac. Oh, yeah, he invited to the cookout. He ain't invited to no fucking cookout. What has he done? If you've been stopped by the police, has he stepped up and said, nah, man, like, officer, no, you got it wrong, whatever. Is he actually standing up for you, or he just riding with the culture? Because riding with the culture and being down with the culture, two totally different things. I need y'all to stop inviting these white boys. Don't invite these Karens, because they may try to bring some food. No, Karen, just bring some money, because I don't trust your fucking potato salad with the raisins and the shaved carrots. That ain't how we get that.
So listen.
That's it.
Listen. Like, me and Bob, we definitely have played sports together, and I hear you loud and clear, Maya. I hear you loud and clear. Like, we give out too many free passes. Like, for me, if I'm gonna give you a pass to the cookout, you gotta have to shown and prove. All right. And it's ironic that we're talking about passes to the cookout because, as many of you know, I work for MS Broadcasting, which owns Hot 97 and WBLS. And, recently we've been in the news for all the wrong reasons. And I'm just going to speak on this real quick. if you haven't seen the special Storm Over Brooklyn, Yusef Hawkins story, I advise that you see it. It's on HBO. But in that special, all of my coworkers were shocked to find one of our coworkers, our white coworkers, which I didn't even know he was white. I thought he was just one of those Latinos that look white. Patty Duke, who has been in the industry for years, started out as Wendy Williams' intern. Anyway, come to find out, he was one of the ones that the police swept up and was interviewed at the station, being involved with this whole Yusef Hawkins tragedy. So obviously we were all shocked. Nobody knew or whatever at the station, and he covered it up. So it just goes, and obviously, because he's a minor, the record was expunged. So even if, they did a background check, it wouldn't have showed up. But I'm saying all that to say is you never know. You never know.
Ain't that scary? When you think about that, DJ John Quick, the maestro, ain't that scary? Because when I hear Brian Urlacher, knowing that he used to date the sisters, knowing a lot of players that played for the Bears at that time, that absolutely gave him the pass. Knowing that we all looked at him as, sort of, you in white skin, but you a brother out there by the way you play. We gave him the pass. And to hear him say that, and I'm going to get to the other part, and for those of you who have not seen us tee it up, I'm going to talk directly to Coach Lou Holtz. Because at some point, that revelation that someone that you had entrusted and you thought was down, right? Now we have social justice, and we are going to see whether or not your actions support whether or not you're down. But to think for 25 years, he sat in there with malice in his heart, because that's the kind of hate that's not just a one-time thing. If you take a life because of hate, you really, really, really think that people of color are inferior. How scary is that there can be sort of a wolf in sheep clothing amongst you?
He's a little dude. Like he might weigh 100 pounds of rocks in his pocket. So if that had ever came out, oh my God, like, literally, we would just tore his arms off, man.
Do what white people do. Get a guillotine to cut his head off.
He was in our culture like that. He was in our culture. It don't get blacker than hip hop. You know what I'm saying? He was in our culture for years.
Right.
Knowing the evil that he was a part of. And it's just really disgusting to me. And like Maya said, you're going to have to show and prove to get invited, at least from our angle, to get invited to this cookout.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I tell you what, man, there's a Notre Dame teammate, one of my former Notre Dame teammates, who shall remain nameless because I don't want him to have not a second airplay on this show, but was accused of calling a young lady on campus a nigger. And it became a big deal in the locker room, and he swore up and down he didn't do it. There was no proof. It was before we had the MVP of the camera phone that could have taped his lousy little lies and put it on Front Street. But he was accused of calling this girl nigger. He was notorious. He was from a part of Ohio. He had never interacted with black folk before he got to college. And all of a sudden, Coach Holtz, ironically, had us come together and we got to support him, and there's no proof. And he said in a truth statement, we used to have these things called truth statement, that he didn't say it. And now I see that same individual posting on social media, just waving his flag of ignorance, defending the action of police officers whenever the victim, on the other side of use of force, whenever it's a black man, he's always defending the police. Now, his sons are a little older than mine, so maybe they'll never get to go up against each other.
I know you going.
But in my heart, I'm like, man, I just wish I had one more chance to line up. Because football is the ultimate gladiator sport where you could just punch somebody right in their mouth. They call it legal.
Funk, bro. You can't fake the funk.
But this dude, man, to see that he's going above and beyond to regurgitate some of the most racist viewpoints, it eats at my core, because I think back on that moment where Coach had us believe that he didn't say what he said. He absolutely said it.
Finish him.
And when we see each other again, I'm done with the smiling, man.
Exactly.
It's like, bro, first of all, I'm educated enough and situated enough where I don't need a damn thing from you. And the same thing with those fans. Dear fan, I position myself, Betty Brown taught me, position myself, well, I don't need a damn thing from you. Be careful, and stop taking our kindness for weakness. I'm smiling now with a handlebar mustache, so they might really take my handlebar mustache and my glaring smile for weakness. But enough is enough, man. To hear people say that they tired, when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, at some point, man, I'm gonna slap the little silly smirk off your face, and we're gonna deal with it the way we used to deal with it back on the football field. But it eats at me knowing that man was accused of calling a young lady, a black queen, a nigga on campus. And the same coach that's going to hear these words in my letter made us believe he didn't say it. It pisses me off, man, because now that the curtain is up and people are revealing themselves, man, America, baby, it's an interesting America. I do like the fact that, Maya, you said, it's not being down with the culture. In this day and age, you got to put some actions behind your words. I love that the NBA, when you say dear teammate, the NBA, those guys have showed out for one another. The MLB is showing out for one another. NHL showing out for one another. And even the NFL showing out for one another.
Tiger Woods didn't.
Tiger Woo,
y'all.
But I'm just saying, I'm saying that in jest because we didn't expect him. You know what I'm saying?
We didn't expect him to.
He accepted medals from a walking tangerine. Are you serious? Did you really think he was gonna be down for the cause? And he ain't got no hair either.
But hold on, you know who's the most surprising turnaround? And I want to know what y'all think quickly before we get to the last part, because I got a letter. I got a letter that I need to read. I need everybody to hear this letter. Tag your friends. Coach Holtz and I, man that I love for 25 years, we're going to have a conversation. But before we do that, Roger Goodell sort of apologized to Colin Kaepernick. I know y'all been Team Cap from day one. He sort of apologized. He said he should have. What y'all think about it? I'm just saying he tried to make amends.
No, he didn't. He didn't even say anything. That is some bitch shit. If you're gonna apologize, say my name when you apologize to me. I do not understand how this. First of all, he's another orange piece of shit. He shouldn't even be an intern for the NFL. He's the reason why the league is so shit now. Bring back Paul Tagliabue and Gene Upshaw. Let's dig him up from his fucking grave, okay? My issue with Roger Goodell is first of all, it took you 4 years. Now, all of a sudden, you had this come to Jesus moment. Get the entire fuck out of here. You double down because you know you literally have the owners in your pocket and vice versa. Then, this is what really kills me with white people when they talk about race relations. I have a black family member. Dude, the first thing they say is, I don't see him as a black nephew. I see him as my nephew. So you mean to tell me just the fact that you erase his existence means that everyone else should? They don't. No one gives a fuck that kid is Roger Goodell's nephew. His ass will get pulled over in the streets just like every fucking body else. What does he have on his license? His license plate, Goodell's nephew. No one gives a fuck about who you are.
Right.
And you said, and you ostracized this man. But the last thing I want to say is, and then I'm going to let Bobby talk and you get yours in too, John. I'm quoting Langston Hughes. Negroes, sweet and docile, meek, humble, and kind. Beware the day they change their minds. Honey, my mind been changed. So you come fuck with me, you can get all this smoke. I ain't scared. I got bail money.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Well, damn, I don't know how to
Yeah,
follow
I did.
that up.
I was gonna say, Maestro, DJ John Quick, on to you. Do you have bail money? Let's start there, DJ John Quick. Do you have bail money set aside?
Listen. It's just so crazy out here. I see my cousin is on the thread. He reminded me how my school, Marshall University, one of my schools, reacted when Randy Moss wore the tie of all the victims of violence. They pretty much try to disown him.
Yeah,
and it's just typical you know, it's all well and good when you're talented and you're an iconic athlete like Randy, and you're running and catching passes for a university, which is predominantly white, whatever. As long as you just do that, you're fine. But the minute you step up for Black lives, oh, it's a problem. Don't politicize our game. What are you talking about? Like,
right.
Shut the entire fuck up. Like, real talk. Like, we are just tired, man. We are tired. And you know what? I love the fact that because we are so talented, we're in almost every facet of entertainment. So you're not going to be able to escape us. All right. You're not going to be able to escape us, because at the end of the day, you love our culture. Like I said earlier, you just have a problem with us being equal, which is really damn near on a retarded level, you know?
Mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
So jealousy.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, with you know, everything that's going on, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate our allies. Because you've shown and proved time and time again that you are our allies. But all of you guys, all of you folks, and I'm going to say white folks who are being quiet, you are complicit. There's no straddling of defense at this point. You are complicit.
I agree wholeheartedly, and that's why I said, dear teammate. For those dear teammates that are stepping up, our white brethren and sisters that are stepping up, you know, I don't think you deserve an award, because
I was about to say they don't deserve to be applauded for something they should be doing anyway. It's just like, why do we have to pat Karens and Kens on the back? Oh my God, thank you for standing up for us. No, we're fucking human beings.
Right. I agree. I completely agree. You don't deserve an award, but I do give you recognition, because I on the other side of that, people who I thought would be teammates, your silence is so deafening, man. So that's dear teammate. Now we got to move to dear coach. We'll start with Doc Rivers. We heard his passionate speech. What do you guys think about Doc Rivers? And then our finale is going to be, I'm going to have a conversation with a man that I've loved for 25 years. But let's start on the right side of this with Doc Rivers. What do you guys think about that?
He said it best, like, we love this country and this country don't love us. I'm not first of all, like, if someone, when I traveled, shout out to COVID, around the world, you know, people like, oh, America, you know, when Barack Obama was president, oh, you guys, like, with the history of America, you guys actually have a Black president. That says a lot. You guys are moving forward. And I'm like, actually, that's not going to help us, because people are so enraged that this Black man who defies all of these stereotypes is in the highest position of power. Everyone beneath him that doesn't agree with him is going to do everything in their power to keep the ones that are already down and downtrodden already there. You should be proud to be an American. Fuck that flag. My father fought in Vietnam. My grandfather fought in the Korean War, came back and was still treated like shit. Fuck y'all. And half of these, I'm a patriot. You don't even know the whole damn Star Spangled Banner. You don't know civics. You don't know law. You don't know governments, but you're so proud to be an American. Be proud to get up and wash your funky asses, because half of y'all are dirty. Half of y'all inbred. And you're fucking stereotypical. Okay, stop believing everything they say on Fox News. Your fucking leader, that fat, bloated, orange, fucking decrepit waste of life, okay, will be good when he leaves the office after he's forcibly removed, and your fat, dumb, crusty asses will still be broken, begging for welfare, okay, getting high off meth, stealing opioids and shit, because you got a fucking opioid addiction.
Tell me how you really feel, Maya.
Miss me with all that bullshit. Fuck you and all you think you stand for.
Finish him.
Because this country wouldn't be a superpower if it wasn't for Black people, specifically Black women. So fuck you. We gave birth to the fucking people to the children of the pigs that were raping us. Fuck you.
I gotta do what I gotta do, Maestro, DJ John Quick. I gotta put it on you now after that impassioned response. Maya, the Maverick, I knew you was gonna come with it, and you did not disappoint. What do you think about it, the Maestro? I know you're really into basketball. You've said good things about Doc Rivers before. What do you think about his speech? on the heels of yet another confusing interaction between black folk and the police.
Doc, I mean, he just nailed it. It definitely resonated with my soul. And I truly believe he was the spark that got the Milwaukee Bucks to thinking aside from, the
Absolutely.
shooting that night, I felt like he was the spark that got them to say, you know what, enough is enough. We're not playing, bro. We're not playing today. Doc spoke, and it was heartbreaking to hear another brother again talk about how he has to have a talk with his children about dealing with the police. Whereas, the white parent, they never have to have those talks.
Right.
Never. Like, you got a man walking through a crowd after have shot 2 people with an AR-15 assault rifle, walking towards police cars with his hands up, and they just drive right by him. Whereas you got another brother who's going to his car and he gets shot in the back 7 times with his children in the car. We're just tired. We're tired. And Doc's, you could hear it in his voice. His voice is cracking. He basically was just crying up there. Big up to Kenny Smith. He said, "Yo, enough is enough." He walked off the set and supported
Love
the
it.
players.
Love it. What's the brother name from the Mets? The brother name from the Mets. He was crying. I can't think. I'm bad with baseball.
Dom Smith, I think is his name.
Dom Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just tired of asking for basic shit. Basic. To be treated like a human being, to be treated equally. That's what we're tired of. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that so hard to fathom? I don't get that. But anyway, Bob, I want to hear your letter. Go on, bro. Go on.
Go on. So you just talked about it, that conversation we all have to have with our kids. And that's where Doc was coming from. And the crazy thing is for me is when my kids hear me talk about Lou Holtz, they hear me say positive things. So on Wednesday night, for all of you who, and we ask everyone humbly to comment, to like, to share, for any of the Notre Dame football players on here, what I'm going to say right now, it might not be popular, but again, I'm tired too. I don't care. The fans that love me because I did get those degrees and I did have some, good stats at Notre Dame. If you get uncomfortable by what I say next, I don't care because we are tired. And so to my coach, and this is the letter that I'm going to send to him. And I wrestled with reading it publicly first because I wanted to give him that respect. But then I started thinking, why are we always nicer to them than they are to us? He didn't give us the respect. He didn't ask us whether or not he should go and speak on behalf of someone that has aligned himself with racists time and time again. So why do I need to give him that respect? So here's my letter to Coach Lou Holtz, a man that recruited me 25 years ago, sat in my living room, and because of what he said and what he did, I decided to go to Notre Dame. A man that I've said a lot of things favorably about over the years. If you know me, you've never heard me say a negative word about Lou Holtz. Even the last time he came up on this show, I avoided saying a negative word about Lou Holtz. And here it is.
Finish him.
Dear Coach, I absolutely need your undivided attention just for a few minutes. First, my sincere condolences to you and your family on the loss of your beautiful wife, Beth. My heart goes out to you during this painful time of mourning. But Coach, I also need you to know you recently caused me and several former players a similar sense of painful mourning. We feel as though the hero that we loved and adored and would run through a brick wall for died in front of our eyes on Wednesday night. We have literally shed tears because of it. Before I explain why, I should let you know that I'm very thankful for all you've done for all of us. So don't confuse this as ungratefulness. I thank you for your guidance and your kindness over the years. And I'm very thankful that you wrote a letter of recommendation for me to attend law school. But I am most thankful that you helped me become a man. And in the Bible, it says, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. But when I became a man, I put childish things. I put away childish things. So let me address you man to man. I'm wondering if you lied on Wednesday night when you described this president using these powerful words: trust, commitment, and love. The same words that you use to guide us and that I now use for my predominantly black 9-year-old football team. Or, coach, did you lie to me and my mom and my family 25 years ago as you sat in my living room and convinced us that you would treat me as your own son? But one thing is for sure, coach, both of those cannot be true. Nope. Not a president that is infamous for using predatory housing policies against people of color, blatantly and wrongfully vilifying the Central Park Five, all black men, of course, running a xenophobic lie labeled as birtherism against our first black president, complimenting neo-Nazis and white supremacists, even after one of them killed someone in a cowardly act of driving through humans. A president who's known for insulting NFL players who had the audacity to exercise their First Amendment right to protest by calling them sons of bitches. Sons of bitches, yeah, you know, those same mothers like the late great Betty Brown, who you sat in their living rooms, and sold that crock of bullshit for verse 40 years. Well, we're only at 25 years, coach. And it seems as though you abandoned us. It seems as though you abandoned us based on your alignment with the man who is at least very sympathetic to racists, if he's not a racist himself. If you still see yourself as a father figure like you said you would, then you played the role of Abby Johnson on Wednesday. You know, the lady who adopted a black child, but now thinks it would be smart for the police to racially profile that same son. Writing this letter hurts to my soul. It hurt me more than I could ever imagine, because on the same day that my mother died 8 years ago, coach, I feel as though you, my hero, also died. But this just ain't about me. It's about Demetrius DuBose, who you coached and was killed by the police. It's about all the black players who you've coached, who has felt as though our lives were truly in jeopardy during a routine traffic stop. 10 and 2. 10 and 2, as my mom would say, and as I still have to tell my sons. 10 and 2. So with my hands at 10 and 2 securely on the steering wheel, I hope I'm driving this message home for you, coach. It's for Reggie Brooks, Derek Mays, Randy Kinder, and all the players who have committed themselves to serving on Holtz Heroes Foundation, who have had to answer calls and respond to texts the last 2 days since your speech. It's for Tim Brown, Bobby Taylor, and all the other high-profile players that will forever be linked to your legacy. Black folk in America often say not my president, when describing 45. And I fear if you don't face the hurt you've caused, we'll soon be saying, not my coach, when describing you. Is that real for us? Dr. King's dream to end racism becomes a nightmare when true leaders choose to ignore evil. I hope you choose right, Coach. With love, Bobby Brown. I didn't know any other way to do it but to do it, because at the end of the day, man, I love Coach. And I don't think that he knows the hurt that he caused. I don't care about political affiliation. And if it's just about, because I've had conversations last 2 days, if it's just about abortion, fine. That's different than standing up and speaking on behalf of a man that has done some vile things to people of color. That's different. It's just different. His wife passed. He could have easily put it on the morning as a reason not to speak. In 2016, when he spoke at the RNC, I didn't have anything negative to say because his political choices are his. But we've got a record. We've got 4 years to look on now. And if you think after those 4 years, the people of color that live in this country, a lot of your former players, the people that you depended on to win games, if you think that he has treated us fairly and equally in this country, then I have a bone to pick with you, Coach. If you think using those words, love, commitment, and trust, when it applies to a man that has done what he has done, I have a bone to pick with you, Coach. I will always love you. I absolutely will, because you've done for me what a lot of people wouldn't even think about doing. And somebody earlier said, sort of clown me because I said a white father figure. That's exactly how I've described that man, because of all that he's done for me. But I'm going to send that letter to him on behalf of all the people that over the last 2 days, and I've been in the group text. I've seen the confusion. I've seen the frustration. I've seen the anger. I signed a petition in opposition of my coach. How do I do that? Because that is what we mean when we say we're tired. Coach, I'm going to always love you. But at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. And if any Notre Dame fan has an issue with that, again, I don't care. If any of the players on here, I haven't looked at any of the comments, man, but if any of the players on here, man, wanted to comment, feel free. There are so many. My man, Jimmy Friday, I appreciate it. I reached out to people to sign the petition, and I know that it was controversial in the sense that it was a taking a stance on the opposite side of a man that we all love, a man that has done so much for us, a man that we do believe has been instrumental in making us the men that we are. But again, right is right and wrong is wrong. I think I saw Kevin Holtz on here, which is his son, who I'm Facebook friends with and who I also respect. Enough is enough, man. Like my man Isaac just said, enough is enough. I don't care if you go in the voting booth and vote with your political affiliation. I really don't. But to stand up there and use love, trust, and commitment for him, it was all about integrity. It was all about your actions. It was all about you're going to be. That's what you told us. We feel as though our hero died, man, because that man is that polarizing. That man's actions are not consistent with love, commitment, and trust. I go out there and give my time and volunteer for those 9-year-old, predominantly black boys because of those words. I am hurt that you use those words to describe that man and this administration based on his behavior. It ain't just political for me. Vote for whoever you want to vote for, Coach. But, man, I just can't believe it. And if you think that I'm alone, you're wrong. The highest of the profile players who literally call you their father, they're hurting, Coach. They're hurting. And that's all I have about it, man. It's been a great show, man. Dear fan, dear teammate, and dear coach, my apologies, man. I was trying to get through it without any tears, but this is the 8-year anniversary, man. My mother died. It happens to be the 57th year of the March on Washington. Enough is enough, man. At the end of the day, when I was writing the letter, I'm crying all night as I'm writing it because my mother was speaking to me. And she was saying, "You're a man now. You're a man. And if we ever want to rid this country of racism, there's going to be a lot of white people that got to look their parents and their grandparents in the face and say, you were wrong." And I'm looking my coach, a father figure, in the face, and I'm writing this letter to him, and I'm saying, you were wrong. You were absolutely wrong. And that's all I got, man. I don't know if any of y'all have anything.
Let's end it right there. Let's end it right there. Let's end it right there, bro. Good job, bro.
Catch us next week, man, on the Ball House Spork Talk. We out.
We love you. We got, and it's obvious we got a lot of work to do. We'll see y'all next week, man. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.
And continue to fight the power.
Absolutely.